So what exactly is in a raw food nutritionist refrigerator, you might be wondering? A lot of people ask me, they're curious about what someone who lives on raw food actually eats. And it's been 17 years since I really decided to adopt a healthier lifestyle and diet. So here, the idea of the video isn't just raw food, but to give you ideas on how you can improve your diet without making major changes. Remember that small steps make a big difference. So, come see what's in my fridge.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eduardo Corassa, a clinical nutritionist from Brazil that has saved his own life through lifestyle medicine called natural hygiene. And also, I'm happy to announce that 4 of my 10 books published in Portuguese are now translated to English and available on ebook and print on demand. So the hygienic fasting, nature's surgery, the anti-cancer diets, the lifestyle that fights cancer, the Eden's diets, the guide to raw frugivorism, the original diets, and natural delicacies, cooking without a stove, are the perfect start for your new health journey, for a healthier, better, more longevity version of you. And unfortunately, because I teach lifestyle medicine, the podcast doesn't have any sponsors because there's no money in producing health. There's money in supplements, there's money in therapies, surgeries, treatments, but teaching lifestyle medicine, there is no company wanting to sponsor us. So I ask for your help for free. You can comment below, share the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button for notification. You help YouTube to deliver more our content to you and to other people. And I also provide consultations online and in private sessions. There is the Raw Food Detox Retreats here January and July in Rio de Janeiro. 4 blocks from a beautiful beach, a tennis court on the yard, 350 rare fruit trees, and the best education on lifestyle medicine in the world, in my humble, if I dare to say. And also 6 online courses, but they're still in Portuguese. So if you want to help the work grow, to help other people, and also help yourself, I highly suggest you to go in the description below for our website or for our WhatsApp. I will ask our editor to put here the recipes from the retreat. Besides the culinary, there's the practical application and also the scientific lectures. I hope you like the video.
So look, it's autumn, almost autumn, and persimmons are starting to be everywhere. We're actually not in autumn yet, so they're not really red yet. Some are orange, some are more red. They pick them a bit early and ripen them with ethylene gas. But if you want to eat more fruit and it's autumn, the idea is really to eat and enjoy persimmons because they'll be cheaper than other fruits usually, right? So I bought a box of persimmons that they sold me for 25 reais. Here at home, we're getting pitaya, right? This same time of year is pitaya season. So look, I picked several pitayas. From this batch, this one is the prettiest. There are yellow pitayas growing and several others, right? But this one here was the cutest batch. So there's persimmon, and back here, look, melon. Back here there's melon, and there's a date paste that I've already made. I'll put the link here in the description. It's already on the channel. Just look for date honey. Here are some persimmons, some that were already a bit softer when they came from the market, so I put them here. These mangoes, look at the size of these mangoes, okay? I paid 5 reais per kilo. Actually, it was 9 at the start of the market. These are export quality mangoes, so the quality is very good. Let me know below what your favorite fruit is and if you like export mangoes, right? If you know it, you've already eaten it. So here, look, I have homemade tahini. I make it with sesame seeds, so I don't have to buy it ready-made. Ready-made? No, it's just much more expensive. But obviously making it at home, you have less oxidation, less nutrient loss. I can get it 100% raw, so it's delicious. And here, look, there's cowpea beans. Look at how fresh beans are, right? These green ones are still green. And these here are already riper, and I soaked them. That's why I put them in water. But the green ones don't need soaking. This is how I eat beans, folks. Here I have green coconut pulp. Since I drink a lot of green coconut water, I always save the pulp from some to eat throughout the week. Back here there's grapes. And let me show you, look, sprouted lentils, lightly warmed. Okay? These here are raw, right? And also this week. And here I have barley. Look, it's very similar to oats. So I sprouted it because I'm trying to gain weight this week. That's why I'm using legumes and grains. And here in the drawer, 2 vegetables. We have eggplant, right, and Swiss chard. I love Swiss chard. It's a cruciferous vegetable, which means it has anti-cancer properties. We have fresh celery, vibrant leek, healthy spinach, crisp lettuce, and fragrant mint and sweet basil. And here, there are also juicy oranges and delicious apples. The oranges are actually really ripe, okay? Look, it's really colorful, but it's not spoiled. It's just ripened in the sun. It's really a country orange, you know? Not what we're used to, which is that green and orange supermarket kind. And here there are also tomatoes and Japanese cucumbers, which are 2 of my favorite vegetables, right? There's also cowpea, which I picked from the garden, see? Look at what it's like. You just have to shell it, and if it's dry like this, I hydrate it. If it's green, you can just eat it, right? And then there's lemon, onion, and beetroot too. Here there are bananas and jackfruit. Here's more jackfruit, see? Whenever there's some left and I'm going to travel, I end up freezing it. Look, here's mango from the backyard. Frozen, more jackfruit, and banana down here. But Eduardo, doesn't freezing cause nutrient loss? It does. But I like to freeze things because sometimes there's an excess, leftovers from a retreat I organized, or I really bought more than necessary because they were offering a really good deal and I didn't want it to go to waste. So I peel and freeze them. And then, for example, I travel and come back during the week. The farmer's market is only on Sunday. At least I have food for a few days, even if there's nothing in the fridge, you know? So I think it's a valid option. And look, the second fridge has 2 watermelons in here, papaya, prickly pear, inga fruit, grapes, oranges, lemons from the backyard, cowpea beans from the backyard, papaya, carrots, and onions. There's tahini here. Look, I buy tahini when I'm eating raw, okay? But even so, I still prefer to use homemade tahini. I'm much more in favor of that, but sometimes just to add something to a meal and make it easier so I don't have to make a sauce, you know? I've already shown how to make homemade tahini here on the channel. Take a look. And there are capers here. I don't use them, but I use them for the retreats, right? I used it in a recipe for the retreat, so it's still here. Mango, this mango is for export. Look at this color, look at the size. Super fragrant, right? So lots of persimmons, 2 watermelons. Look, watermelon, persimmons, grapes, papaya, and the freezer. But Eduardo, is there only fruit and vegetables in your fridge? How come? No guys, I don't eat only fruit and vegetables. I eat only raw food, but I eat a variety of other foods within the raw food diet. For example, you can see here, I eat lentils, I eat peas, there are dates here which are dried fruit, but I even eat quinoa, as I showed, a grain, sprouted barley, sprouted quinoa as well, sometimes warmed up, different nuts and seeds, like seeds, nuts, you know. The diet is very varied. I eat seaweed, as you can see, I eat mushrooms. A lot of people have never seen this, but this here is a Brazil nut and raw peanuts still in the shell. And I prefer to eat them like this, straight from the shell, without oxidation, which means it's tastier and more nutritious. Ah, Eduardo, but where do you get your protein from? Look, here, for example, this is cannonball tree seed. It's rich in omega-3, it doesn't have THC, right? So it's really edible. It's considered a medicinal food and is rich in protein like all seeds. Why? How do you think a plant or even a tree comes from a tiny seed, like a papaya seed, for example? So look. Here, look, lots of fruit from the backyard. These persimmons I actually picked in the south from a tree. These sugar apples here are from the backyard. I pick at least about 200 sugar apples a year. Coconut, which I always peel, right? And oranges from the backyard, though this tree still isn't producing well-formed oranges yet. And a tangerine too, look. Remember, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You just need to include more raw food before your meals. At lunch, dinner, and breakfast. There are many different kinds of foods. And if someone doesn't want to be vegan, they can even include animal protein in a raw or semi-raw diet, right? You're not going to die from cooking food. People kind of treat this like a religion and get really pushy about it. And no, you have to do what's good for your health, what makes you feel better. I really do feel better sticking to an all-raw diet. It's a personal choice, but still, whether raw or cooked, variety is key to good nutrition. So you can't just stick to one food group. Okay, it's true that what dominates my diet is fruit and vegetables, but even so, you can see there are many other foods, chickpeas, even certain types of beans, like cowpea beans. There are a lot of things you can eat raw that most people don't know about. Hearts of palm, for example, and so on.
So if you like the video and you like our work, please don't forget to share the video, comment below, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button for notification. And also, if you want my help as a clinical nutritionist, I can help you through consultation, online and in private sessions. My 4 published books, you can access them through the links below. And also, come for a retreat in Brazil here with us, and there's the online courses that will still be translated to English. And if you also want to help our work, you can become a member of the channel for a small donation every month. Click these videos to know more, and remember, health is produced by healthful living. Much frugal health. See you next time.